America is known as the land of opportunity. Every year, millions of people seek refuge on our shores. But would they be so anxious to get here if they knew that most Americans are less than happy? It's true. According to a recent survey, most Americans are unhappy.
It was actually kind of surprising. We found that most Americans, 93%, wanted to find more ways to experience more joy, but only 2 out of 5 stated that they were experiencing enough joy in their lives. So it was a little surprising because previous research had shown that most people are pretty happy, but this survey suggested that there is, I guess, what you might call a joy deficit in our culture.
That's Dr. Sonia Lubomirsky, professor of psychology at the University of California, Riverside, and author of 2 books, The How of Happiness and Myths of Happiness: What Should Make You Happy But Doesn't, What Shouldn't Make You Happy But Does.
Joy is basically an intense burst of happiness that comes from small bursts of delight, fulfillment that people feel. Happiness is a much broader term, more long term. Almost half of Americans on any average day don't experience any joy. So that was surprising. And I think it suggests that there are a lot of opportunities that we have in our everyday lives to experience joy and happiness. But we're so busy, we're multitasking. We have all these different devices. We're trying to balance, work and kids and parents and complicated lives that we're kind of hurrying through life. And so we're overlooking really like little small ways that we could experience joy. I don't think it's that difficult.
Lubomirsky says that if we could increase the frequency of those bursts of joy throughout the day, we'd actually maintain a level of happiness.
The survey showed that I think it was something like 83% of Americans knew this, that it was the small, like everyday bursts of joy that were more important than like the big things. And research really bears this out, that we sort of think that, oh, I'll be happy, I'll be joyful when that big thing in my life happens. I win the lottery, I move to that city I've always wanted to live. I get that promotion, I have a baby. And those things do make us happy and joyful, but that joy kind of dissipates over time. And so it's really the secret to happiness really is to find those times in your day for those little things, those little bursts of positive emotion. And those add up to make you a happier person. It turns out that when you have a lot of those moments of joy, you'll be more creative, you'll be healthier, your immune system will be bolstered, your relationships will be stronger. And so it's not just about feeling good, it's also about getting those good things that joy can bring.
In gratitude, when we focus on the positive aspects of our life, it actually increases the production of this neurotransmitter serotonin. That increased production of serotonin actually occurs in a really important part of the brain called the anterior cingulate, which sits at sort of the intersection between our thinking, rational brains and our emotional brains. So gratitude actually helps strengthen the balance of communication between those two systems.
That's Dr. Alex Korb, a neuroscientist at UCLA and author of The Upward Spiral, using neuroscience to reverse the course of depression one small change at a time.
Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that's most closely associated with willpower and motivation and mood. And the serotonin system is out of whack, as you could say, in depression. And that's why it's the most commonly targeted system with antidepressant medication. But, if you could increase your own production of serotonin in the first place, that can have some similar effects.
It is possible to do it yourself with some simple changes that strengthen the serotonin system naturally.
Sunlight absorbed through the skin is actually a necessary part of producing vitamin D, which is part of the pathway in the production of serotonin. So simply going outside, getting a little sun in the middle of the day can help. Remembering positive memories or focusing on the positive aspects of your life can actually help increase serotonin production in this region called the anterior cingulate. Getting exercise. Exercise is a huge way and very simple to enact.
Korb says you don't have to go to the gym 4 times a week. Just getting up off the couch or away from the computer screen and taking a walk around the block is enough to activate serotonin. But Korb says there's more to happiness than naturally increasing our serotonin levels.
I always used to think that happiness was related to thinking more positive thoughts. But there are a lot of aspects of brain chemistry and communication that have, nothing really to do with our thinking. It's more to do with our actions and our interactions with the world.
Sharing those moments is much more powerful. Actually, the survey showed that people understand that sharing moments of joy is more intense than kind of keeping it to yourself. So whatever you can do with other people in your life, whether it's friends or family, coworkers, to sort of share the moment, to reminisce about that favorite vacation that you had with someone else. So not sort of keep it to yourself. Happy people really focus on relationships, spending quality time with their partners, expressing admiration, expressing gratitude, truly listening. So if you're an unhappy person, really spending quality time with people in your life, trying to strengthen your relationship is going to make you happier.
But what if you're a Debbie Downer type of person, just by nature? How much can you change your outlook on life?
There's a genetic component. About 50% of individual differences in happiness are explained by genetics, but 50% is a lot less than 100%. And so research suggests is that if we try to adapt some of these strategies, savoring, doing acts of kindness for others, expressing gratitude, counting our blessings, we can move kind of our baseline happiness. Now, we probably can't go from a 1 to a 10 because there's a range, but maybe we can go from a 1 to a 5 or from a 3 to a 7. There are some limitations, but with hard work, and you really do have to put the effort into it. So it's not like, oh, there's some kind of secret strategy and there's no magic to it. We have to put the effort into it. And some of it is really easy. Again, like savoring positive things in your life, sharing with others is really not that difficult. Like it's very easy to add to your everyday life. If we're willing to practice those strategies on a regular basis, we can become happier.
One of the ironies of the holiday season is that it's all about joy, yet so many of us feel nothing but stress and sadness. So maybe there are no roses to smell this time of year, but as you're rushing out to your car laden with packages, you might take a moment to notice a gorgeous sunset blazing over the parking lot. Pause and breathe. Then, as you ease into traffic, maybe you can share that moment with a fellow traveler. Let them merge into traffic ahead of you. It just might give you another burst of joy and a feeling of happiness that lingers. You can learn more about our guest, Dr. Sonia Lubomirsky, and her books, The How of Happiness and Myths of Happiness, and Dr. Alex Korb, author of The Upward Spiral, by visiting our website at radiohealthjournal.net. Our writer-producer this week is Polly Hansen. Our production directors are Sean Waldron and Nick Hofstra. I'm Nancy Benson.
Medicare and their list of suppliers continue to change. So if you have diabetes, it may affect where you get your testing supplies. But rest assured that your number one doctor-recommended one-touch testing supplies are always covered by Medicare Part B at your local pharmacy and approved mail-order suppliers. Dr. Brian Levy, Chief Medical Officer at LifeScan, maker of one-touch products.
Some mail-order suppliers may offer a limited selection of diabetes testing supplies. They may try to switch you to a different brand, saying your current products are no longer covered. That's just not true. You are entitled to continue using the products you know and trust and that have been recommended by your healthcare professional at no additional cost.
Remember, you have a choice. Stay with the number one brand used by Medicare patients. For questions about coverage or where to get your one-touch testing supplies, call 1-866-621-6216 or visit www.onetouch.com/Medicare. Medicare Part B is not a guarantee of coverage and payment, which may be subject to coinsurance, deductible, and patient eligibility requirements.
At highway speeds, your car can travel the length of a football field in the time it takes to send a short text or take a selfie. Distractions contribute to crashes that injure more than 400,000 people a year. Decide to Drive, the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons and the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers Distracted Driving Awareness Program calls attention to this issue with the No Small Distractions video series. Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Michael Stover explains.
We've all been guilty of this, but all drivers should decide to drive each time they get in the car to keep their bones intact. As an orthopedic trauma surgeon, I see the damage a distracted driving crash can have. In our videos, you'll see people juggling an enormous cell phone, a cup of coffee, an oversized electric razor, applying lipstick, and eating French fries. It's a lighthearted reminder that everyday distractions on the road are never as small as they seem.
Decide to drive every time you get in the car. Watch the videos and learn about the Reckless Checklist at decidetodrive.org. That's decidetodrive.org.
Atrial fibrillation is the most common irregular heart rhythm. It can be life-threatening, so patients and physicians should consider all treatment options, according to Dr. Leo Polisagian of Cardiac Rhythm Specialists Incorporated.
Medications treat the symptoms of atrial fibrillation, but ablation therapy, which creates scar tissue to block the short circuit in the heart, has at least a 47% greater success rate when compared to medication, according to a recent FDA study. That's because ablation treats the underlying problem causing the condition. For many patients, ablation should be considered as a first-line option for treating atrial fibrillation once a single antiarrhythmic drug fails.
St. Jude Medical is an international leader in ablation technology to treat atrial fibrillation. The procedure is minimally invasive but can contain risk. Ablation may involve additional X-ray exposure and potential adverse events such as cardiovascular and anesthesia-related complications, including death. To learn more about whether ablation may be right for you, visit sjm.com/AFib answers.